All right, let's get straight to it. This isn't theory. This is a practical guide for running a board meeting that actually gets things done, especially when it starts to fall apart.
Sound familiar? You had a plan, you had an agenda, and now you're here. This happens to every single board. The good ones just know what to do about it. So here's our plan. We'll cover the inevitable derailment, how to deal with crosstalk and distractions, getting out of the endless debate, using the parking lot, and then we'll talk about the uncomfortable truths behind why your meetings are probably a mess in the first place.
First things first, accept it. Your meeting is going to go off the rails at some point. It's not a sign of failure, it's just what happens. The only difference between a functional board and a dysfunctional one is having a plan for when it does.
Okay, let's get tactical. There are two kinds of distractions that will absolutely sink your meeting: the quiet ones and the loud ones. You have to know how to handle both.
It always starts small, doesn't it? A whisper between two people, a quick aside. But then you notice half the room is watching them, not the person who's actually supposed to be speaking. And just like that, the focus is gone.
Look, the fix is simple, and you don't need to publicly shame anyone. As the chair, you just bring the focus back. Call on the next person to speak. All right, David, what are your thoughts? That's it. You've reclaimed the room, and there was no confrontation necessary.
And then there's this, the next level of chaos: crosstalk. Multiple people talking at once, nobody's listening to anybody, nothing is getting done. It is the absolute fastest way to lose control of the room.
Don't wait. The second crosstalk starts, you have to intervene. A firm, hold on, one at a time works wonders. Then you pick one person. Sarah, you have the floor. It might feel a little awkward for a second, but then order is restored. The longer you let it go, the harder it is to pull it back.
You know, just as bad as total chaos is the meeting that just goes nowhere. The discussion that circles the drain but never actually reaches a decision.
This is what we call the endless debate loop. And it feels like you're making progress because, hey, people are talking, but you're not. The same arguments are just being rephrased over and over, and everyone is just waiting for someone else to break the cycle.
So how do you know you're stuck? Well, watch for the signs. The same person is making their fourth point on the exact same topic. You hear the phrase, "as I said before," or, my personal favorite, "you've completely forgotten what you were even supposed to be voting on."
You have tools to break this loop. Use them. You have to interrupt. Ask, is there a motion on the floor? Force some clarity. Okay, just to be clear, we're deciding X and only X. And when the discussion is clearly done, you call the question. It's time to vote and move on.
And remember this, forcing a decision isn't rude. It is a rescue mission. You are saving the entire room from a discussion that has completely run its course.
Now, let's talk about the most subtle derailment of all: the good idea that just shows up at exactly the wrong time.
This is agenda drift. It's so dangerous because it always starts with a perfectly valid point. The topic is important, it is relevant, but it is not on the agenda for today. And now 20 minutes have gone by and you haven't addressed what you actually came here to do.
The solution is the parking lot. It can be a piece of paper, a spot on the whiteboard, whatever. A good idea comes up, but it's off topic. You acknowledge it. That's a great point, Mark. You write it in the parking lot. You promise to address it later. Then you get right back to the agenda.
And here's why it works. The parking lot doesn't dismiss the idea, it validates it. It tells the board member, we heard you. That idea is important. It deserves its own dedicated time. You're not saying no, you're just saying, not right now.
And finally, the real problems. Because look, these tools, they're just treating the symptoms. The actual disease is usually one of three things. First, uncomfortable truth. Your agenda was completely unrealistic. You tried to cram 2 hours of discussion into a 60-minute meeting. The chaos wasn't an accident, it was pre-programmed. You have to plan better.
Second truth, people didn't do the reading. Simple as that. If members are seeing critical information for the very first time in the meeting itself, you're not having a discussion, you're having a briefing, and that's a total waste of everyone's time.
And the third, and this is the most difficult one, there just isn't enough trust in the room. When people don't trust each other, they can't disagree cleanly. Every debate feels personal. Every decision is fraught. Structure helps, for sure, but it cannot fix a fundamental lack of trust.
So, the tools are simple. You redirect, you pause, you clarify, and you park it. The real skill is using them the moment you need to. Don't wait for a full-blown fire. The moment you see smoke, you act. Trust me, your board will thank you for it.